This boy was hiding a monster inside his little body. As usual, his friends bullied him because they still thought he was weak and cowardly. The boy could not hold himself back anymore. He called out the monster. All of his rage and discontent for a long time was let out. The boy's name was Conor. He was living with his mom, who suffered from a bad disease. Recently, Conor always dreamed of the same dream. In this dream, Conor's mom was about to fall down an abyss. He immediately rushed forward and tightly held his mother's hand. However, he always woke up from the dream at this moment. That night, when Conor was drawing, he suddenly heard someone called his name, Conor. His curiosity led him to the window and opened it to see who was it. On the outside, there was a tree transforming into a monster and walked towards Conor. The tree monster came by the window and said, "I will find and meet you every night and tell you 3 stories, and you must tell me the 4th story in your return, about things which you hold back inside ever since." However, Conor refused the monster's offer. When the monster was about to split fire into Conor's face, he suddenly woke up. It turned out, there was just a dream. Next day, grandmother visited Conor's mom. His mother's illness was getting worse. Conor then was taken to the grandmother's house to live there. At night, when Conor was sleeping on the sofa, he once again dreamt the same dream. When Conor woke up again, wind was blowing heavily on the outside. Conor opened the door and saw the tree monster was waiting for him. The monster told him the first story. Long time ago, a king passed away. The queen took the throne because the prince was still a child. People thought that the queen was a witch and she killed the king herself. The prince grew up and married a farm girl. One day, he suddenly found his wife was died. The prince was extremely angry because the witch had killed his lover. After that, the prince raised a revolution and took the throne. The queen disappeared from that moment. When Conor was praising the good story, the monster told him a different ending. That it was himself who took away the queen, because the queen did not kill the prince's wife. The prince killed her when she was sleeping. The prince took advantage of the people's fear of the evil queen, and then took back the throne. The queen was not even involved in the king's death. Conor angrily asked the monster who was the bad person finally. The monster told Conor, "In this world, good and bad cannot be entirely separated. Many things feel like the truth is just a cheat. The prince ran his country so well although he killed his wife. The queen was certainly a witch and could go on the way to great evil, but who knows?" The monster left when he finished talking. On the next days, Conor still was bullied. Conor went home, and when he was letting all his anger out, the clock rang. The monster appeared again and told Conor the second story. There was a town where all around was constructions. In this town, there was an apothecary. He used plants to make medicine. However, the priest said that the method of the apothecary was out of date. The priest also spread this to other believers, so that the apothecary's business went down, and he had to close his office. One day, the 2 daughters of the priest were struck by a terrible sickness. Unfortunately, no modern doctor had the cure. Then, the priest begged the apothecary to save his daughters. The priest said that he could do whatever it takes. The apothecary wanted the priest to give up all of things the priest believed in. However, when the priest agreed, the apothecary disappeared. Next day, the daughters died. That was the second story. Then the monster came to the old house of the priest. The monster was angry because the priest had given up all of the things he believed in. Then the monster destroyed the priest's house. He even encouraged Conor to help him. Back to reality, Conor was actually smashing his grandmother's house. When the grandmother came back, she gave Conor an angry look and then silently went to her room. Conor was just sitting there bewilderedly. Next day at school, a classmate poured soft drink on Conor's drawing. The classmate told Conor that he would not bully Conor anymore, and considered him as an invisible person, pretended that he did not see Conor. Conor was very angry. At this moment, the monster appeared behind and told him the third story. Once upon a time, a boy had no feeling of existence, because everyone considered him as an invisible person, pretended that they did not see him. Actually, the boy was not invisible. It was just that everyone got used to passing on him. So what was the meaning of life when no one saw the boy? When the monster finished, he and Conor together rushed toward the classmate. Conor was not quiet anymore. He let out all of his anger. After that, Conor visited his mother in the hospital. Her illness was getting worse. Conor's mother said, "You can get what you want. I know what you thought although you don't say anything at all." Conor painfully ran to find the monster. Then Conor asked the monster how he could save his mother. The monster told Conor that his mother's illness was incurable. Suddenly, Conor's mother appeared. The area where the mother standing was collapsing. Conor's mother fell down. Conor rushed forward and tightly held his mother's hand. But the monster walked towards and said to Conor, "This is the 4th story you must tell me." He asked what was Conor's actual thought. Everything suddenly became calm. The mother also disappeared. The monster angrily asked what was Conor's actual thought. Conor yelled, I want this to be over. It turned out that Conor let his mother go. This moment, Conor wanted to fall down, but the monster caught him. The monster stated that Conor was not wrong at all. He just wanted to end his own pain. That was just the way he think. Conor came to the hospital to visit his mother. The monster was behind Conor to encourage him to bravely face with everything. No matter how hard it is, you have to speak out. Finally, Conor told his mother everything that he had been hiding for so long. Conor was regret not telling the truth to his mother, but now it was too late to regret anything. After his mom died, Conor came into her room. He opened his mom's drawing, and he saw the stories about the prince, about the apothecary. Conor opened another drawing, and he saw the monster. It turned out all of this were made up by the mother. When she was a child, she was also alone. She was very lonely, so she made up a lot of unreal story, and told Conor every stories she had, to imprint the image of the monster to Conor's mind, because she wanted to encourage her child, who experienced the same situation. The mother knew her illness would upset her son. She knew that Conor would never let her go, but she didn't want this to continue. That's the reason for the plot of the 3 stories. In our life, don't judge a book by its cover. There are 2 sides to every story. Don't assume a thing is good or bad from the beginning. You have to speak out to release all the tension. Speak out your thought is a way to release yourself from the stress. Conor's mom did not share to her son about her illness. Conor did not willingly face his mother's death, so he found another way to cope with this pain. Conor's mother then considered herself as the monster. She wanted to transfer her unbreakable spirit to Conor. Her love would become the monster and forever stay by Conor.